Welcome back to Krown's Crypto Cave, coming at you from good old Helsinki, Finland. Nice and fucking rainy this morning as we just got back from good old Dubai. Had a phenomenal time there. Really magical city. Met all sorts of great people like Mr. Faraz from the community, and also a lot of great crypto YouTubers as well. Mr. MM Crypto, shout out to you, brother. You were fucking phenomenal. Anyways, with that said, and plenty of other people as well. But I do want to get through this video right now. I want to make this one nice and short today because I do have to get back to sleep because I'm severely underslept, man. Holy shit. Been dealing with like a 3-day long headache, and I think I've just gotten over it right now, but I'm still amazingly tired. Anyways, with that said, I got just enough energy to do this video right now, so I do want to wish you the best and the happiest, and let's get into it. Start off with the Krown application. Of course, that can be found at app.cringy.net. It is also 100% free, but you already know that. Most likely you've been on this channel for even just one day. Anyways, what do we see over here? Fear and Greed Index reaching up another couple points, which is the highest level that we have seen in multiple months now, and Bitcoin dominance actually taking a little bit of a backpedal right there, as we did say was likely for a bit of a short-term down. However, long-term still massively, phenomenally, in fact, bullish on the Bitcoin dominance. Anyways, let's skip everything else, go into the market data tab, and I do want to address this. The global funding rate is starting to really creep up here, and when I say creep up, it's like jumping up a lot, in fact. So do be aware of this. It's starting to get into a little bit more of some interesting territory. Still not where I do look at it as like super critical. Obviously, that is going to be about 2x where we're at right now. For reference, we are at 0.05. I want to see this get above 0.1 realistically for like major, massive tops. I don't necessarily think that we're looking at that just yet, but a good old levered washing could very well be in order, as we also see the global open interest rate is at the highest that it's ever been ever. It's literally the highest that it's ever been fucking ever. Hey, it's at the literal highest it's ever fucking been, ever. In fact, if you didn't catch that. And also the global leverage ratio is also at some phenomenally nasty levels here as well. So do be aware of that, as while this is direction neutral, the global funding rate is starting to be a little bit more on the not favoring the boo laws side. And as you can see over here, the global liquidations long and short, we have not really seen anything on this current run from 40,000 to about 67,000 bucks. So I imagine that a lot of over-leveraged positions are going to be at the mercy of the market. A very nasty market coming up, very likely as well. Anyways, with that said, let's get into the charts. Waste no more time, and let's talk about the last day or so. So Bitcoin did come down, putting in a little bit of a downside deal, as we actually did say was likely yesterday, after a quick move up to about 6.6 or 6.65, which I do believe we got. Did we get it right there? Hey, yeah, we did get it. No, we didn't get it. 6.650. He's 150 bucks off. Fucking kill him. Burn him at the stake. He's terrible. He's nasty. Anyways, looking at this right here, I did say that a target down to about 60,000 to 59,000 bucks would be initiated off of that. It looks like we didn't quite get around there. I see about 61,500 on BitMexico, which is what I was generating that off of. So we don't necessarily have that just yet, but I do want to address this before we get into it as well. We did hit pretty much all of our fib targets to the upside for the short and medium term. So now I could very easily see a bit of a short and medium term pullback here, which could very easily bring Bitcoin down to 58,000 bucks and maybe even 55,000 bucks, which is really what I'd like to be angled towards, if we were so lucky to get something like that. But of course, at the end of the day, until the ranges actually do break right here, I don't necessarily look at that as applicable. And for what it's worth right now, Bitcoin, is still within an overall uptrend on all time frames that matter. And whilst we do see a bit of a short-term accumulation going on right here, I wouldn't get too bearish on Bitcoin as long as we're above, especially like 62,000 bucks on an hourly closure, let's say. Below 62,000 bucks, yeah, I would be looking for that move down all the way to about 6,000 bucks even, and then we'll come back to it after that. But here's the thing, let's go over to, where is it? This chart right here. Yes, indeed it is. What is the most important thing happening within the soonest time? That's a long way of saying, what's the fucking most important thing happening today, huh? In 12 hours, 14 minutes, and 43 seconds, aka 8 p.m. at Eastern time. We do, which is also going to be the daily closure. Obviously, it's going to be the 5-day closure, and we are going to have a chance to close above the topside shoulder band yet again. However, this one's going to be pretty damn close, as the topside shoulder band is currently trading at about 62,400. So if Bitcoin does start to cough up its current current move right here and come back down below that area, or even around that area by end of day, that's at the point where I probably would start to entertain the possibility that Bitcoin probably does pull back further on the daily before further continuation to the upside. And if that were to happen, I am still macro bullish on that. We're just looking for, or at least I would just be looking for, a higher low on Bitcoin daily right here, as throughout this whole run from 40,000 bucks to 67,000 bucks, there's been no higher low. It's just been a straight move to the upside, a straight fucking melt. So at some point, Bitcoin will very likely come back down, scare the shit out of everyone, myself included, and probably put in a higher low. So, first sort of area of interest would be $58,000. Do I think that things could bottom there? Possibly, yes, but wouldn't be like my ideal situation. If we're really going to wash out a shit ton of people on this market, probably looking somewhere down around about $54,000 to $55,000 if that were to happen. Again, not even a topic of conversation, especially as long as we're above $62,000, even on like a fucking hourly. And then realistically, I want to see Bitcoin close a daily below 59 before I start looking at targets towards 55. Until then, I respect the trend. I mean, I always respect the trend, but respect the trend in this regard as well. Anyways, what about CME? CME is going to be closing the weekly today. Obviously, that it is Friday, or at least I believe it's Friday. Is it Friday? It is Friday. Congratulations. Friday. Hey, there we go. And CME is going to have a chance to close above the top side Toronto band yet again as well right here. So any sort of a closure above what? Basically above 625 as well. So, anywhere above that region is going to look generally good. And it is a long day left to go, obviously, as well. 9 hours, 22 minutes, and 47 seconds on CME right there, which is the most important chart, in my opinion. However, over the weekend, if we were to close above this region and then come down and have a little bit of a washout over the weekend and then pop back up, that would look really, 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 really good, actually. But hey, I'd like to at least say the fucking weekly closure first, and then we'll talk about potential conspiracy scenarios. Anyways, going back into the shorter term timeframes over here, what would be the top side of the range as it is right now? Well, this one's actually rather simple, as we do see about 65 and some odd change right here, about 65,200 would be the top side. And yes, this is a rather large range, but we're dealing with humongous numbers right now, and we are, in one of those more potentially volatile situations, which means that we should probably look at BBWP on the hourly, starting to. Actually, this one I still look at as contracting right here. Probably does come back down, but let's see what the other shorter and medium term timeframes look like. Yeah, 4 hours expanding still, okay. 12 hour is just kind of right around neutral, 50 percentile, and daily sort of same thing as well. So I don't look at that as too actionable right there. What I do look at as incredibly interesting though is the 5-day, of which we did identify like earlier this month in October, that it was coming down to the same levels that we have seen that have, preceded some pretty massive moves, both to the upside and the downside. In this case, this one obviously coming to the upside, but realistically, we don't see the totality of these moves until at least 70 to 75 percentile, and even that would be on the lower end. I mean, usually these sort of lower reads are resolved by reads that are that get up to about 90 percentile, maybe even more in some cases. So that is rather interesting to myself, and would say that this run does have some more to go on this current trajectory. So that would be more on the bullish side, obviously. So again, at the end of the day, trend does rule everything else and kind of make those other indicators, at least in my opinion, more actionable, but that's kind of how I'd be looking at it right there. Anyway, let's go over here and see if we have any sort of divergence to be aware of right now. And what do we see on the 12-hour? We do see the 12-hour is actually making significantly lower lows on RSI, pretty much below all prior lows, going back to, early October, actually, way back on over here. So it does technically potentially have hidden bullish divergence, but how would we confirm that? Well, you can't have fucking divergences without having a local low. And in this case, do we have a local low right here just yet? No, we do not. So how would you confirm a local low? First things first, you need to kind of close something like this, I suppose. And then on the next resulting dildo, close back above the top of it at minimum. And that, could be a front runnable situation. If not, then I do still look at this as, a little bit more questionable, and this very well could be the pullback that we've been talking about was kind of likely. I mean, what was the whole scenario that we've been postulating over the past few weeks here is that Bitcoin probably puts in a move just above the prior time high. We've gotten that at $67,000, another clean like $2,000 above prior time high, and then slams it down in front of all of the breakout traders' faces, and grabs maximum liquidity on both sides, getting both all the shorts out of the positions and then getting all the longs out of their positions, right? That is maximum pain for this market. It's just wrecking everyone who's a little bit too leveraged. Anyways, yes. So what was the other point that I was going to get to over here? We're already 9 minutes into this video. Daily. Still not really giving too much on this one. We've kind of already looked at this one. 2-day, same thing. I mean, still long-term bullish, obviously, but could do with a higher low at some point. Corrections down to 58.5 to 59. Very likely do bounce relatively hard on first pass. Same thing on the 5-day and same thing on the weekly here as well. All higher term time frames still very much bullish. Even the weekly, just getting a fresh weak signal on the weekly jewel right here, which is not something that I've actually tested out too much, but kind of eyeballing the past results, it actually has been pretty damn good just for the color change. Getting this run right here at the start, getting this run right here at the start, and getting this run right here at the start as well as this one. And I suppose several more. So this one just having one bar on that does look, not bad, I suppose. For the long term, of course, again, this is a weekly, and that could very easily come with a move to the downside first. But just put in higher lows on the daily. I mean, that is the trend as of right now. Okay, cool. Do we have anything else to be aware of on maybe the 4 hour, perhaps? Yeah, we did have a little bit of hidden bullish evidence right there. I don't think that this one has any more to play on it, though. Kind of a weak drive right there, and already kind of struggling at the 10 symbol, so I don't really look at that as too interesting. So other than that, maybe the hourly. Do we have anything particularly interesting right here? Nope, just an overall range. So with that in mind, I don't really have anything else to add to this analysis. I do remain, I suppose, short-term cautiously looking at this as likely to put in a low here until Bitcoin really does break below about $62,000. Even on an hourly, that's pretty aggressive. I like to operate in these sort of situations on like a 2 hour or 4 hour. Obviously, that's gonna, not necessarily let you be as quick, but in this case right here, this is still saying that, hey, don't necessarily front run reversal until it actually happens. Even the 4 hour hasn't reversed yet for what it's worth. I mean, it's just another hard low right here is what it is. So far so good, but I wouldn't necessarily be looking for or saying that Bitcoin is resolving this consolidation to the upside, and we should actually talk about next target to the upside as well if this does happen, but as long as Bitcoin's below 65,200. So if Bitcoin does take out 65,200, even on an hourly close in this case, I do think that would be applicable. I do feel more confident being more aggressive to the upside than the downside in a market like this. I would be looking basically for another run at your prior all-time high. That's that $67,000 number. I think that things would stop there. Perhaps a little bit of a short-term pullback, yes, but ultimately, I would be looking for Bitcoin to work its way towards that price 69,420 number that everyone loves. But realistically, I don't think that things stop there. I think that things would very likely reach up all the way to $70,000 after that. So, you can kind of see both ways in this case right here. What really makes me consider the potential downside is, again, the leverage ratios, the open interest, and now the funding rates, which are rapidly creeping up there. So I do think that it's a little bit wise to be cautious in a region like this. Of course, know your risk. I mean, at the end of the day, like, your risk is your risk, regardless of those external factors. Well, they're not necessarily external; they're underlying market dynamics. But you know what I mean, right? Your risk can always be well defined, is what I mean. And that is what makes a good setup after all. So with that in mind, I am going to be signing off now. I want to wish you the best. Keep an eye on that 5-day closure for spot price action and then the weekly for CME. With that said, take care. And again, for the long term, this would be more of a setup for, well, probably the next, not necessarily the weekend, but probably like middle of next week to come. And if we're looking at like very long-term targets here, I mean, obviously still, $75,000 plus is on the board here, but not too applicable for what we're looking at this exact moment. In fact, let's just end on this. Let's just end on this. Let's see what we can do over here. Let's get a nice extension for this. Oh, I've already done it. Nice. Yeah. All right. There's the $74,000 number. There's $77,000 number. That would be kind of like the next major consolidation range that I'd be looking between 77 and 71 or so. Long term, if we really do start to break back above and close these higher term timeframes, namely a daily above our current high right now, which is about $7,000. Anyways, with that said, I want to wish you the best once again. Take care. Until next time.